traveled around the West in pursuit of articles for the New York Tribune, Mr. Blackheart's time with her might need to come to an end. There was only so much disapproval a lady should be expected to experience. "Miss Watson," Mr. Blackheart began, "explain to me, if you please, how you've managed to become embroiled in yet another bout of calamity. I left you alone for only a minuscule amount of time while I saw Mrs. Swanson settled, and yet here you are in trouble again."
"Honestly, Mr. Blackheart, it's not as if every calamity that occurs is of my making. If it has escaped your notice, there seems to be a mad pig in our midst, one that I'm fairly certain was intent on harming my person."
Mr. Blackheart switched his attention to Matilda.
"It's only a small pig. What did you expect it to do to you? Gnaw off a toe or perhaps nuzzle you with its snout?"
Agatha lifted her chin.
"It's frothing at the mouth."
"You naughty girl,"
the man with splotchy skin crooned as he shook his finger at Matilda.
"You've been in the chalk again, I see."
Agatha blinked.
"She's been eating chalk, as in blackboard chalk?"
The maid, who was still hovering over Matilda, nodded.
"We were concerned when we learned the teacher staying in your room was allowing Matilda to eat it, but the little darling seems to love it. Once it became clear she wasn't getting sick, we stopped fussing about it. They seemed to be getting along so well, but the teacher up and departed this morning, and she actually balked at our suggestion she take Matilda with her."
"I wonder why?" Agatha asked, glancing down at the drooling pig that was now rooting around the floor, obviously searching for something else to eat.
"I have no idea,"
the maid replied, before she gave a sad shake of her head.
"But if someone doesn't offer to take her soon, I'm afraid she's destined for the slaughterhouse."
At that pronouncement, Matilda stopped rooting, began quivering harder than ever, let out a mournful squeal, and promptly scampered back into Agatha's room.
"I take it she has an issue with the word slaughterhouse as well?"
Agatha asked, and the employees nodded back at her. Curiosity sent her after the pig, and she grinned when she spotted a wiggly pigtail sticking out from under the bed. Finding herself charmed, in spite of the fact the pig had scared her senseless only moments before, she moved farther into the room, but came to an abrupt halt when a distinctly disgruntled voice sounded from behind her.
"Do not even tell me that pig is still here."
She looked up and discovered Mr. Farrington, the manager of the hotel, marching her way. He brushed past her and seemed to swell on the spot when he caught sight of Matilda's backside, which had stopped wiggling. He turned around and narrowed his eyes at his employees.
"Well," he demanded, "would someone care to explain why that pig is not yet off to a farm?"
"Matilda doesn't actually care for farms,"
a maid mumbled.
"Did she tell you of her dislike?" Mr. Farrington asked.
"Not exactly. But you see, I tried to take her out to old Mr. Galloway's homestead, sir, but—"
"But what?"
"She turned up back here a few hours later."
The woman's eyes grew round.
"It was truly remarkable that a little thing like Matilda was even up for such a long journey."
A tick began throbbing on Mr. Farrington's temple before he looked back at Agatha.
"You must accept my deepest apologies, Miss Watson. Pigs are not a normal occurrence here, but I'm certain it was quite the shock to find a pig in your room. I'll have another room readied straight away, and while that's being taken care of, I'd like to offer you a complimentary meal in our fine dining room. By the time you're finished eating, I can guarantee your new room will be perfect, and I assure you you'll not see that abomination again."
Noticing the telling glare Mr. Farrington was sending Matilda's way, Agatha's heart gave a tiny lurch. The poor pig was now trying to squeeze under the bed, a futile attempt if there ever was one, because its backside was much too large.
"Forgive me, but I have to ask, what are your intentions for the pig?"
A snort of obvious protest erupted from under the bed. Mr. Farrington licked his lips.
"I enjoy a nice slice of ham upon occasion, and since no one seems to want to take responsibility for the pig, well—"
Matilda let out a high-pitched squeal right as she finally managed to disappear from view. Uncomfortable with the thought of Mr. Farrington serving Matilda for dinner, Agatha opened her mouth, but before she could utter a single word, Mr. Blackheart gripped her arm. He pulled her across the room at a rapid clip, pausing for only a second to scoop up her bag from the floor with his free hand, tugging her past the employees, who were now muttering.